Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming and more Arc Raiders. Today we're talking about the controversial update from Embark, which is all about the expedition. Under the Raider tab, you've got projects, and that is the expedition. You have to, fill it up, as I'm sure most of us have done. But we've been waiting for more information about when that window will open and what we need and what the rewards actually are. So the post came out on December 6th, talking about the spirit of adventure and how we've kind of all got pretty juice stashes, and building up some power and grinding XP and all that fun of progression is mostly done now. So the whole point of this is to send you back to level 1, to wipe your stash, clean everything you got out, but then get some permanent benefits and rewards. The expedition has a delay though. It will now begin on the 17th of December. Where you will have 6 days to choose if you're going to go on the expedition and prestige. So what are the rewards? Why would you do this terrible thing and completely lose all your blueprints and everything? Well, you can earn up to 5 skill points based on the total value of your stash and coins at the time of the departure. This stated clearly that 1 million coins worth of value will equal 1 extra skill point for your new raider. So I'm currently level 75 and I hit that on like day 6 of the game. Been a while since I've gained any XP. Look, a big part of this is the respec aspect. For whatever reason, they've not given us any way to reallocate points, which has been pretty awful if you wasted points here and there. A lot of people wasted points on the mobility tree, for example, on skills that don't necessarily even work. I would probably take 2 points out of agile croucher and put them into silent scavenger, because I would prefer that personally, because I can stand and walk. I don't need the crouch movement speed. Maybe I would have liked an extra point in slip and slide, because I like to slide. There's definite value in heroic leap, but not like a lot of value. Maybe I would have liked 2 more points in fight or flight, but these are strong maybes. I barely care about this. 5 more points is not going to get me to have like one of the final points that I care about in any one of these trees, because obviously I need to invest 36 points before I can actually access these things, so it's meaningless. 5 extra points for me right now would allow me to reset, reallocate some points, but otherwise I'm pretty happy. So to be clear, when you restart, as they state, all progress is reset. So it's not just the skill tree and your overall level, but it's all your stash. Your workshop will be back to level 1 and all your workstations will be gone. All of your crafting abilities and all the blueprints you've learned, they're gone too. What you will keep is all the maps you've unlocked, and you'll be rewarded with limited rewards, right? We got the patchwork raider outfit, the scrappy janitor cap, expeditions indicator icon. So I guess, you're on your first expedition or whatever, like prestige level 1. The potential 5 skill points, depending on your stash value. 12 stash spaces. I am permanently at 280 out of 280. So 292 is not going to cut it. I'm not going to feel much of a difference there. We'll also get temporary buffs. 10% repair buff, 5% XP boost, and 6% more materials from Scrappy. Admittedly, those are nice. You only keep those temporary buffs if you continue to go on future expeditions, basically. But apparently those buffs will get stronger as you keep going. So maybe on the second expedition, we'll have a 20% repair buff and a 10% XP boost, that kind of thing. Thankfully, they do clarify later in the post that it's the 17th of December and that lasts until the 22nd of September. So we'll all automatically depart on the 22nd, maybe at the end of the day. The value of your stash will be counted up when that window closes. So it's at the final moment that it occurs that your stash value will be counted. So really, you've got until the 22nd. Now, I am someone that played this game quite a lot in its first weeks, and I've kind of done, everything in the game. I'm starting to save up some relevant blueprints if I'm able to transfer those, but now I just play for the vibes, the fun, the PvP. How much is my stash worth right now? Well, having now selected everything in the entire stash, if I was to sell it, I would, that's pretty decent. I would make just shy 2 million, and I'm currently sat on just shy a million there too. So about 2.5 million towards 3 million, I could easily reach that. So if it happened tomorrow, I'd be able to get 3 skill points and be happy with that. Do I really care to farm 2 million more? And what would I need to do to increase the value of my stash and actually achieve the money I need? Well, I would ideally want each slot to be the most value it could be. So I'd want each slot to be around 15 to 20k in value, right? So let's take a gun right here, level 4 vulcano, with some attachments on it, to be fair. It's worth 21,000, nearly 22. What's a legendary worth? These are easy to make, 13k. Probably not worth it, because if you compare the raw materials, one of the reactors is 13k on its own. Then to craft it, I'm giving up complex gun parts, and I'm giving up magnetic accelerators. These go up to 3, so that's worth 9,000, that's worth 16.5. So it's definitely not worth it based on the magnetic accelerators alone. So initially I would take stock of what you've got sat in your inventory that's not worth a lot. Like obviously for right now I'm running light shields very rarely, but a medium shield's only worth 2,000. That's nowhere near 15,000. Naturally, there's also these slots at the bottom with the base materials, which are not worth much. You'll also potentially want to pile up some blueprints for the reset if we're able to transfer those over via like a friend, or as some people are doing, second accounts. They're worth 5,000 a slot, which is still not 15,000. So it's definitely doable even if the slots aren't worth that much. But these little materials here that we do use on day-to-day play aren't worth close to 15,000. So there is a lot of slots here we could end up removing and converting only into the most valuable slots, such as these many keys that aren't worth anything really. The next alternative is to make raw cash, so you've got coins, because this is also relevant to that 5 mil. Naturally then you'll want to take a look at map modifiers, and every single time there's a Lush Blooms event, you've got to be doing it. A Lush Blooms run, bring a Raider hatch key, big augment so you can loot a lot, at least a looting Mark II, and just pile everything in and sell everything you find, looting the baskets and following an interactive map that shows you where they spawn. On average, this nets me about 70 to 80,000 or higher a run, and I can do 3 to 4 an hour when they're up, so that's an easy 3 to 400,000. Otherwise, hitting your valuables, your commercial spots on a map, getting in and leaving quickly is another way to make say 30 to 50k very quickly. But I find quicker runs where you're in and out and selling everything you find effectively within say 5 minutes or less actually nets me a lot more money over the course of an hour. So whether that's loading into Stella Montis and going over to the assembly workshops, full looting it and taking the hatch all within a couple minutes, whether that's going to Spaceport and spawning in near the west elevator, running into the departure building and going into the locker room, full looting it and leaving the extract also within 3 to 5 minutes. There are fantastic locations and options for these runs, and there are many guides including on our channel for this purpose. So the final part of the article is this: why are they doing it like this? They say that progression wipes are notoriously difficult to balance in online multiplayer games. Mandatory global wipes have obvious benefits. The re-experience of the initial grind is fun, and for a while you get to re-level the playing field. But I don't think that's accurate in Arc Raiders at all. If you've looked at any tier list, and obviously I've made a few, a Vulcano is awesome. But you know what's just as good? A Toro level 4, that's for sure. But you can get away with a Toro level 1 or 2 and just roll between shots, and there's not much difference. Most of the meta weapons are going to be cheap weapons like an anvil, a slightly more expensive venator or renegade, and the classics of the kettle and sticher and ferro, which hyper overperform for how cheap and cost effective they are to run, repair and upgrade. Running a bobcat is very hard to justify by comparison in the current way things work. So in my opinion, the idea of the playing field being leveled isn't really a thing at all. From day 1, level 1, I can run a sticher or a kettle and do work like anyone. The only difference would have been in the past the overly strong venator, which is still very strong to be fair, but a kettle can easily take it on. They say that the optional expedition project is their solution to some of the problems with mandatory wipes, respecting your time investment, so you get the choice instead. If you're ready to grind a new challenge, then you can choose to depart and get some rewards, which I can understand. But in the current balance, I just don't think it really matters that much. Now, the general public reaction to this has been pretty negative because 5 mil is a lot for those skill points. I think it's fair to say that a rebalance and update to the skill tree is a very good idea. Again, some of these things are very unclear, and then after testing what they actually do, it's very underwhelming or doesn't really work how it's supposed to. There needs to be an update to the skill tree irrelevant of expeditions, where we see, skills see better value or work as they're intended. But I would love to see rebalance, like we saw with the security lockers, where it was so obviously the best thing you could possibly go for with the skill tree. Now it's just a really good thing to go for. Meanwhile, the mobility tree feels like it doesn't reward you enough for investing in it at all. And at this time, they haven't really shown us that they're going to do anything like that. Also, give us a way to see the current stash value instead of manually clicking all of the things and looking at what they cost to sell. Inevitably, someone's going to accidentally press sell and be very upset. And I don't think there's enough value to the reset itself. 12 slots is not enough stash space in my opinion. You could triple that and I'd still be like, man, I could do with more. I respect that they want to make stash space increases a really valuable thing, and using the expedition is a good idea for that. 12 slots, man. That's not enough. And I don't know about you, but I don't have amazing faith in them for this whole patchwork raider outfit thing. I kinda lost my hype for the trials when I took a look at what the patrol outfit was. To unlock this is a lot of work. And then there's the even better one, where you have the black version as a Cantina Legend, the top 100. Very few people are ever going to have that. This is what the patrol outfit looks like, and here's what the top 100 players are going to get. So I'm not exactly expecting the prestige outfit to look that great. I'd love to be surprised though. Ultimately, I think the reward for prestiging should be higher, particularly the skill points, particularly the stash space, and the cost they want for the skill points. Right now, I'm not seeing a lot of value in those 5 skill points, like a lot of people apparently. So I want them to talk about what they're doing to the skill tree, what's changing, to incentivize this a little bit more. And I would love to see an increase to that stash space number, but I'm not expecting it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Are you going to go on the expedition? I probably will, just for a thing to do in the game. Right now, we're kind of on our content low, right? At least at the exact moment that I make this video, which is currently 1 day before the end of the Breaking New Ground event, so here's hoping something happened. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Until next time, I've been Hollow, you've been you, and thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.